fits them really nicely. But they're fundamentally sound. They play hard, and they've done a great job. Like I think one explosive run all year, a lot of stuff. They rally to the ball. They get things out, and they've been playing from ahead. So teams have to pass the ball. So it's been a good recipe for them.
Joel, how meaningful was it for you to set that record last week and reach that milestone?
Yeah, it was cool. It's something I never set myself. Like when I got here, I was like, I play longer than Joe Thomas or anything like that. But once you start playing, it's just something you look back on your career and like there was some longevity there, some toughness, ability to stay on the field. That's pretty cool. It's hard in the moment, like when first play the game, look up and be like, oh, this is cool. But driving home, it was something cool to think about.
It shows how even though you kind of had to debate on whether or not you wanted to come back this season, it really seems like you're playing some of the best ball of your career.
Yeah, I feel like there's been some really good stuff. My body's held up relatively well, and the play I think has been there too. So I'm happy that I've come back, and hopefully we can keep stacking some wins here and get back in some meaningful games.
Joel, the Patriots have been the same starting line every single game. They're going to have an 8th different one this week, probably with Jack coming back. You just talk about the challenge of that as it pertains to offensive production overall.
Yeah, I think in a dream world, like continuity, being the same group every week would be awesome. We've obviously haven't been able to do that with injuries and some line changes, some trades. But if we can get a solid 5 group that can grow together, I think it's going to help the offense. When you play next to the same guy for a few weeks, you start realizing like, all right, this is how he sets, this is how he run blocks. There's little things like that, and I think like Jack and White have played so many games next to each other, they could fall into that. But when you keep switching tackles up during the game, it's like you want to get your best guys out there, but you also want to have that comfortability. So hopefully we found 5 guys that we can put out there, we can stay healthy and keep it going for a while.
Joe Vrabel spent so much time with your position group last year. Like, what was that like getting to work with him, first of all?
Yeah, you could tell the guy like loves football. He's a football guy. He he was leading the walkthroughs last year on defense and stuff like that. But he's definitely like a motivator of players and understands the game. And I think everybody who's been around him has a high level of respect for what he did as a player and what he's done as a coach.
Joe, when you look at the Dolphins game, how do you assess the run game, right? Because you had the long runs queued, he scores 3 touchdowns, but overall the average per carry probably wasn't amazing.
Yeah, I think it's tough in that game. You get to the second half, you're kind of going 4-minute-esque. In the second half, you don't want to take any crazy risk. Spread it out. They're going to put bigger guys on the field. I still think there's more there, though. Like you said, like there's some of those runs that we had a few negative runs where someone made a play in the backfield. You turn those into 1 or 2 yard gains, and then some of those 3 or 4 yard gains that weren't there, like we're 1 block away from turning that into an 8, 9, 10 yard gain. So there's still more there. I appreciated the commitment to the run game, and I think we just have to keep pushing it and keep executing, and I think the bigger ones will start to come.
You guys went with jumbo package a lot last week. Is that mainly due to the weather or something like Seymour down the line?
I think it was weather. I think it was David being out as well. You need another tight end in there. But I think it's going to be a week-to-week thing where if we feel like there's an advantage in us putting another lineman out there, we'll kind of roll with it.
What did you see from Dylan just in terms of protecting the ball in that game and kind of managing some tough conditions?
Yeah, his composure's been great the first 3 games. I wouldn't say, playing in London, playing at Pittsburgh, playing in a weather game is a tough way to start your career. So his composure throughout has been great. And we want to continue to give him a great run game and good protection so he can do everything he wants to in the passing game. But his composure's been good. He's taking care of the ball. We haven't turned the ball over, I think, since he's been in. And so if we can keep doing that, like I think he's going to continue to grow and have a chance to keep operating the offense.
Joel, you said Tuesday how much you loved it here in Cleveland, how he wants to do his career here in Cleveland. What have you seen from two that's just been so special that makes him just such a special player for this group and this organization?
Yeah, he's a great running back. He works hard. A credit to him, like he came in without any training camp. It was in great shape. Like he was working on his own to put in that time. and he loves football, and those things you can't, teach. Sometimes, you draft a guy and you're like, you don't know if but he loves football. You tell by the way he prepares, the way he plays, the emotions that come out when he plays. And so I think all those make him a special talent, and hopefully we continue to grow with him as an offense.
Do you see any of Nick Chubb in him when he runs?
I mean, they're both just great running backs. They both make that first guy miss. I think they both kind of fall forward with it. And they have similarities when they break out. You're like, oh, is that going? And then he takes off down the sideline. So, I would say those are some of the similarities.
You guys talk so much, Kevin especially talks so much about not going on the passing week to week, just focusing on what you have between the table. But how do you guys try to take something away from last week in terms of like building momentum and trying to carry that over without sort of dwelling on it?
Yeah, I think win or loss, you have to take the film and learn from it, because you win a game, lose a game. A lot of it is very correctable, very similar. But for us, it's having that urgency still. Like, I think we showed what a good week of preparation, what a good week of practice. The focus was there, the urgency. If you can carry that over to week to week, which is hard in this league, it's 17 sprints. But if you can bring that mentality every week, there's a chance to grow from that. Thanks.